Good morning, everybody. Hope you've had a lovely bank holiday weekend. Welcome to the second Stamp and Chat. So last week we went live for the first time. We're using the Tag Buffet stamps and a shaded spruce ink pad, and this is kind of based around the Tag Buffet project kit, which I've got here, which I did show you last week, but for those of you that weren't here or didn't catch up, this is what we're using. I'm just going to check that I'm live in the right place, so do bear with me a moment. I'm just going to see if I can share this to my group. Well, I couldn't do this last week and I'm not sure why. Share to group. Okay. Those of you that are in my private VIP group, you should be able to catch me up. So I'm hoping some of you are going to be joining me live today. I know not all of you can stamp with me at the same time. Those of you that have purchased the kits from me, some of you are at work, so you can catch up with me later. That's not a problem at all. So without further ado, so this is the kit. Some of you saw it last week. So it includes products in here to make 30 tags, gift tags, but don't think of them as just gift tags. You can use them, pop them on cards, use them on your packaging. So there's lots of products in here, lots of tags, lots of die cut images and some banners and labels, some nice twine in there as well. So that's the project kit itself. Before I actually start with the stamping, I just wanted to share with you, let's move those out of the way for a minute. We've got a fab new promotion that's gone live today, along with the new stamping, cut and emboss machine, which if you've watched my video you'll know that I love it. So that's actually live for you to purchase from today. But our starter kit promotion is available for September only. So it's our usual standard £99. You get £130 of product. But for this month only, Stampin' Up! Are giving some extra goodies. So they're throwing in some card kits. You won't be able to see this here very clearly, but I will pop up some information on here later, and I'll get a blog post finalised as well. So it includes some card kits, pre-cut card kits with layers of cardstock in there. It also includes 2 stamp sets. So it includes the Queen Anne's lace stamp set. I'll show you a closer picture up of that in just a sec. And the So Much Love stamp set. And you also get a pack of the rhinestone jewels as well. So really, really fab offer here. So I'm just going to show you this. These are the 2 stamps that are included. It's not a great image. I've quickly printed it off on my printer, so you can see those both there. But as I said, I'll pop all the details up later, either on, well, I will put it on my blog at kerrytims.co.uk, and I will pop something up here as well. So Stamp and Chat, here we go. This is today's card. So those of you that are joining me live, you will need to grab from your kits the Merry Christmas greeting, which is this one we're going to be using here. You'll need your bauble. So we're not going to be using, let's just go back to these die cuts that are in this kit. Last week we used this stocking die cut, which you just push out. We're not going to be using any of those today. We're actually going to be using the stamp set. So we're going to use some stamps from here, and we're going to do a bit of kind of colouring in and a bit of a clever way of using up some cardstock if you don't have any colouring elements. So we're going to be using the bauble. You'll need to get out this leaf. I don't think any of the cards that we're doing will not have this leaf on, and then also you will need this one as well. So let's put those back out of the way for a moment. Then you will need to pull out this tag, okay, so this one here, and this stripy one here, okay. Isn't that pretty? So you'll need both of those tags. And remember, this is kit number 2, so you will have a shaded spruce layer. You have this Just Jade piece, which I've already embossed, and that uses, I've actually got the packet out here, the Wrapped in Texture embossing folders. I love both of these. I love the greenery ones that came with the new catalogue, but I just love embossing. It just adds a bit of a wow to a boring piece of cardstock. So, is anybody joining me live? Got a couple of people here watching, so that's good. You will also need to pull out one of your base layers, so you'll need a Whisper White for this one. So let's make a start. So I hope you all had a really nice bank holiday weekend. We were really lucky with weather, weren't we? It was quite dry and fresh. So we spent a bit of time out in the garden doing some gardening. We've got lots of branches that are down. So Jason cut the grass. We went out picking up sticks and broken branches and popping them in the bag ready to go to the tip. Oh, hello Alfie, are you joining us? Tapping around up here. Yes, so we did go out yesterday as well. We went for a wander to Bristol and went down by the harbour just to get out and have some fresh air and just a change of scenery. Having not been anywhere for a couple of weeks myself, it was quite nice just to get out. So let's take our piece of Whisper White and we're going to fold it and give it a good crease. I'm having a bit of a problem with shadows in here. Okay. You're also going to need your sponge wedge that was part of your kit. Let's take our ink pad to start with. Open that one up. And I'm going to take the shaded spruce layer and we're just going to daub around the edge like we did last time, just to give this layer some depth. So just go all around the edge. Morning, Sue. Oh, you made it in time. Nice of you to be joining us. Are you crafting with us live, or are you going to be watching and then catching up in your own time, sticking? I know sometimes you might feel that you're kind of under pressure to keep up with me, but don't feel that at all. You know, this is your time, so just go at your own pace. You can catch up in your own time. So that's my shaded spruce layer. I think what I'm going to do next is take this little fern, little leaf image, and I'm just going to add my detail up in this corner. So I've just stamped it a couple of times, so it's just coming out behind the tag. I will say it's looking a lot brighter. As I'm looking through Facebook, it's looking a lot lighter than it is on my phone. Who else have we got here? Oh, hi Lucianne. How are you doing? Are the children back at school today? Oh, all change, isn't it, for you guys who have children at school? There we go. So I'm just stamping those down. So I've just stamped those randomly up in the corner. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is take my piece of Just Jade. So this piece here in your kit. I'm going to pop a bit of Tombow on the back because that's the first layer that's going down. A bit of Tombow on the back. And then we're going to lay this down at the bottom. Just leave a nice even border around. Oh, that's so pretty. I do like this embossing folder. There we go. Sue, you trying to catch up with me? Sorry, I'm just checking on my comments. I'm going to try and keep on top of my comments at the same time as crafting as well. Need to learn to multitask. what shall I do now? Let's do some more stamping. So that's my insert piece. Piece of scrap white. So you've all got spare white in your kits that I popped in. Oh, hi Lucy, nice of you to join us. How are you doing? Hope you've all had a nice weekend. So I'm just inking up my greeting. I'm using the Merry Christmas. You can of course use any of the ones that are in this set, so it's entirely up to you. And I'm going to fussy cut this one, so you know, a bit of pre-warning. I'm going to cut right around this one, so let's just stamp that down. It's quite juicy, this ink being a new one. So this is what I've just done, and I'm going to fussy cut, let's move that ink out of the way, around the edge of this one. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling a little bit chilly this morning. You don't have to be precise when you're doing this, by the way. Leave a little border around the edge, and I don't go right the way in to all the nooks and crannies in here, because the background that it's sitting on is white. You're not really going to notice you're cutting anyway, so don't feel under pressure to be specifically extra neat. Let's just chop you off there for a moment. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit chilly this morning. Don't know why. We had to put the heating on. What night was it? Friday? We had to put the heating on because it does get quite chilly in our house, because it's, you know, we're surrounded by lots of stone and we have all wooden floors, and because we're open plan, so we can't like cocoon ourselves in a room to keep warm. It does get quite chilly over there. So we did pop the heating on just for the evening. There's my Christmas. And so that when we woke up the following morning it wasn't too chilly. Let's have a little refresh, see if anyone else is joining us. I can see there's a few of you watching. I know not everybody likes to comment, so just trim around the Merry. I did hop on my VIP group this morning just to remind those of you who wanted to stamp with me for our stamp and chat that I was coming on. Okay, I'm not going to go right up in there, there's no need. Oh, there we go. In the bin. So we have our Merry Christmas. Pop that to one side. So next, I think I would do this lovely fern. So you need a scrap of Just Jade, and we need this gorgeous fern stamp. So we just need 2 of those. I know you guys are really going to love me for all this fussy cutting, but sadly it's the only way, as there are no dies that go with this. So just trim around the edge of here for a quick look, see if anybody else is talking to me. Trim around these. Oops, can't get in there, there we go. So I had to go down this morning and water the vegetables down in my veg garden. Sadly over the weekend as well, one of my pepper plants in the greenhouse fell over. It was, although I had put a stick in there to support it, I mean, it was nice that I've got loads of peppers growing on there, but it just got a bit too heavy and it toppled over, and sadly it had broken a branch, but there are still a couple of peppers growing on there, and I've got about 4 other plants as well. So yeah, lots going on down there. I feel it's quite a mess down there at the moment with all the wind that we've had. There's leaves everywhere, you know, and we can't keep up. Well, I certainly can't keep up with all of it to have the garden looking pristine all the time, but maybe tomorrow I may find a little bit of time once I've prepared all of my kits in the post. So at the beginning of each month, I would generally be seeing my customers face to face. Pre-COVID, we would meet and I would do a 6-card class at a couple of different venues. But obviously because of everything, we've not been able to do this. So I've been popping all my kits in the post. So it's been quite challenging preparing kits for sort of large groups. But I do love it, and it does mean that I can stay connected with you all. So I'm about 2/3 of the way through cutting, because I like to include lots of die cuts because I can't include any stamped images, and there are no stamps or other products included. It's purely just cardstock envelopes, you know, and kits. And then I email out pictures to everybody so that they can complete them at home and then pop their own stamps, stamped images and greetings on. So yeah, I'm about 2/3 of the way through the cutting. So I need to finish that later and then hopefully get those out in the post. I don't think it will happen today, but hopefully tomorrow. So that may give me a couple of hours tomorrow to do a bit of gardening if the weather is going to play ball. I think it's not looking too bad. Trouble is, you look and then it changes, doesn't it? Okay, so I've got my 2 leaves. Put those to one side for a moment. Next bit of stamping, well, it's the final bit of stamping, is the bauble or ornament, whatever you like to call it. So it's this one here. So you'll need to locate this one out of your stamp set. And you need a bit of Whisper White scrap. So we're just going to ink this one up on the white first, like this. And now for this bit here, because I didn't really know, obviously I've only included one shaded spruce ink pad with this kit. So, and I wasn't really sure what kind of products everybody has. So I thought to be on the safe side, rather than hoping that you've got a Real Red ink or a Real Red Stampin' Blends or maybe a watercolour pencil, I thought the best way of colouring in this image would to do a bit of like paper piecing. Is that the right word? Paper piecing. So we're going to ink up the stamp again and stamp it down onto some Real Red. So you have some Real Red in your kits as well. And then what we're going to do is just cut out this panel here and then layer it over this one. To start with though, I'm going to cut this one out, and then we're going to do a bit of sponging with our sponge to fill it in with colour. So let's just trim around this one. Lots of fussy cutting. Leave a little gap around, it makes it easier to trim. Who's joining me? Oh, hi Belle. You're a bit late. The dog wanted to keep running. We have one just like that. Bless them. We do love our fur babies, don't we? I expect it's a bit damp and dewy out there at this time of the day, isn't it, Belle? But a bit like us, we've been out the last couple of mornings early-ish because it's just been sort of too warm really to take the dogs out. And I know if you're not a dog owner, you wouldn't really realise, but Alfie, he runs, he's always got his nose to the ground, he's sniffing and flushing out pheasants, but he does get really puffed. So even though it's not like the height of summer, we try not to go out, you know, when it's too hot. And we always take a drink with us, so he has a little drink en route as well. So, but yesterday he was puffed and it was really damp down at the orchards, just down the lane where we walk. And it was really damp. We came back with wet feet as well. We didn't anticipate it was going to be so damp. So I'm digressing. Cut out this image here. Take your bit of scrap paper. I'm using the bit from last week. Now I think what I'm going to do is take off a lot of the ink, as much as I can, from my little sponge wedge. It does create quite a pretty effect. And then I'm just going to go over, see that was there's still a lot of ink on here, it's surprising. Just going to go over my ornament just to add a bit of colour to it, so it's not so stark and white. And then I'm going to take this image that I've just stamped, and I'm going to cut out this centre panel, and I'm going to cut in just inside the line on this one. I'm going to leave that bit in there. Sorry, I'm probably right out of shot. I need to get into the hang of where you can actually see me from. Okay, so just like that, that's totally fine. Doesn't matter, there's a bit of black. It's not even black, it looks black, but it's the shaded spruce on the real red. And then we're simply going to stick that piece down on top of there. So a bit of Tombow on the back. And then we're just going to lay this over the top just to add a bit of extra colour, like so. There we go. And we'll put some gems on after. What else do I need to stamp? Let's have a look. I think that's all of my stamping done. Okay, so next let's prepare this tag. So you do need it, those of you that are taking part in this live, you need to keep the rest of this tag for some future projects. So we're going to be using part of it possibly next week or the week after. But you need to trim off an edge at 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to turn around to my trimmer and take off an inch. So that this piece can go to one side. You'll need that next week. And then I'm simply going to, you can see it's not long enough to go underneath the whole of my project. So I'm just going to snip. Let's snip it down. Take off this edge first because we want a nice flat edge. And then we'll snip it down the middle. So we've got 2 pieces. And then what we're going to do when we put our card together, we're going to lay it behind like this. So nobody's going to see that there's a gap in the middle. So we're just making our short piece of, it's like designer paper this, the short piece into a longer piece. That makes sense. Next, let's just have a look at my layer. I'm going to pop down, should have a little skinny strip of real red. How long are we? Just make, I've got ink on my scissors now, never mind, it will be fine. Just laid it right down on a stamp. I'm going to pop this piece just on here like this. And then I'm going to add this shaded spruce layer directly to my card because there's no more stamping happening on here. Just have a little overhang on each edge. And I spoke last week about grid paper. You can actually buy this grid paper. I believe it's about £11. I will double need to check that. I'll put the code and the correct price in the description down below when I send this over to YouTube. But I love working on the grid paper. It helps me to line things up. So you get 100 sheets in a pad and they are double-sided. So you've got inches on one side and centimetres on the other. So I'm just going to refresh, see what's happening. So this layer here we're going to pop directly down onto our base. So a bit of Tombow around the edge. I've no idea how we're doing for time because you know I cannot see with these glasses on that close. Okay, so first layer down. Now these pieces I have used dimensionals under, but what we're going to do first is attach them to our tag. So locate this tag from your kit and then simply I'm going to just pop a bit of glue here and a bit of glue here. Line that up so it's square, and then pop your tag like so. I'm not sticking this bit down, there's glue under there. And then have it all in line as if it was one long piece. Come down a bit, I think, and stick that bottom piece in. So it needs to be quite straight because it needs to be flowing as if it was one whole piece behind there. Nobody will ever know, because even where the laser cut pieces are there, you can still see it through. So, and then from behind you can see where the gap is. Okay, so that's our tag. I'm going to pop some mini dimensionals behind there because, you know, I love a bit of 3D. Always feel a bit out of sorts when we have a bank holiday. It kind of throws you out of your routine, doesn't it? And it's going to be one of those weeks where I'm not really sure what day it is. Let's peel the backs off. Like that. Anybody else joining me? Ah, thank you, Belle. The grid paper, Belle's just let me know and given you all an idea on the correct price. So the grid paper is £11.75, which is great value. It's going to last you a very long time. And those of you that come to classes know that I use my grid paper well, and I don't recycle it until it's not got any use left in it. So let's pop this layer on. My little leaves are a little bit low here, so what I'm actually going to do is just pop another one in. They could have done with being a bit higher, so I'm just going to ink this one back up, and I'm just going to pop one in a bit higher up there, and then we're going to lay our tag round about here, as straight as possible, like that. Okay. Again, with the little ferny images, take your bone folder or a pen, anything that you've got, just to give yourself a little lift on those. And then behind my bauble, I'm going to pop a couple more mini dimensionals. There isn't a need for this to be raised. If you are posting this card, I think one layer of dimensionals is probably enough before it pushes it to a large letter, but I like a bit of depth. And I think we'll pop this one, whoops, stuck to me then, round about here, like so, and then a bit of Tombow on the backs of the leaves. And we'll just lay these in. Did you hear my tummy rumble then? That wasn't good. I have had breakfast as well. I thought I'd better eat before I go live, otherwise I would have definitely been rumbling. Next, we're going to take our greeting. So you may have stamped another greeting. You may have stamped onto a strip of cardstock so that you don't have to fussy cut. Totally your choice. And just remember as well that you can go off-piste with anything, even those of you that do my card class in the post. So you get 8 card kits, and I do send you photos of what my finished design looks like. But because it is quite minimal, because there are no stamped images included, you can go to town and pop on anything you like onto your finished cards. You can add embellishments, you can glitter them. I'm not a glitter girl myself, but you can do what you like to finish them. Oh, actually, I'm just looking on my card and I realise my Merry Christmas is stuck flat, but this one isn't. It's going to be 3D, so have a bit of Merry And then the Christmas is just going to overlap the bauble a bit, but that's totally fine. And then you need to take your gems. These are really pretty. I do love them. I love them that they've got red and just, I don't know if you can see. They're like clusters of glitter inside the dome. Really, really pretty. Let's just take those out. And I've popped 3 large ones. Go from this end. Remember, you will be needing the rest of these for the other projects. So keep them safe with your kits until next week. And just pop 3 on there, just to give the bauble a bit of interest. We're almost complete. We're nearly done. We just need to add some thread. So I've got some here. Just tie a little bow. Oop. That's it. Got a bit of a frayed end, but that won't hurt. It all adds to the finished look. In fact, what I might do is cut the other one and fray that one too. Oop. Just unravel it that way. And we've got, need to cut it a little bit shorter. Just to unravel it. And then we need to take a glue dot. Do you remember I showed you last week? Just roll one. Where are we? There. I just like to roll it so it's not such a big flat piece of glue. And I'm just going to pop it on there like that. And then add my bow. And that's the front of our card finished. So that didn't take too long. Quite a bit of fussy cutting. But there we go. Cannot be helped. I know you all love me, really. What shall I put on the inside? Let's put, I don't remember what we used last week. Let's use, we'll put the with love for you, because I feel that's quite a good sentiment for the inside. Let's locate a block. Sorry, that might wobble you a bit. Just mount that one up. And ink this one up. Oops, that will make you wobble a bit. And stamp that down. And then the trusty old ferny leafy image. I think I may have done this last week. The same, but there we go. So that's my insert. Bit of Tombow on the back, like so. And then just lay that one centrally inside with a nice even border. And just, I can see ink on my finger. The last thing I want to do now my card is finished is get a fingerprint on it. So there we go. Another card finished. So I'm not going to show you what we're doing next time, but obviously I think we're going to be using another one of the die cuts. So I thought it was important for you to actually use some of the stamps in your set rather than just pushing out the die cuts that are in your kit. But of course you'll be able to use those for other things as well. You are going to have lots of spares. I'm working currently on what we're going to be doing for the next round of this, so I'm thinking maybe not Christmas, and it won't be starting until the end of September. So we've still got 3 more lives to do with this stamp set. So, but I will be popping out some information. If there's anybody listening who would like information on what's coming up next, who isn't currently on my mailing list, please do get in touch, reach out to me, and I will pop some information to you as well about what's coming up. So I think that's all for now. If you're shopping online with me, I've got a new host code starting today. As I said earlier, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is live to purchase from today. Absolutely love that machine. It means also I can start ordering some new plates for it, which is good because I'm going to show you. I've not been using it about 3 weeks. I've done a lot of die cutting in the last few weeks, and it's bearing up well. And one thing I'm really loving is with the embossing, it's not bowing the plates at all. So I like to keep one. I've popped some washi tape on here. I like to keep one plate that I don't cut into as my top plate, just so it doesn't get etched into. So yep, it's having a lot of love already. If you'd like to know more about that machine, get in touch. You can go to my YouTube channel and watch my video, my unboxing video, to have a closer look at that. So thank you all for joining me today. If you'd like to know more about the Stampin' Chat, where you get the products in the post, please get in touch. And I think that's it. So thanks everybody for joining me, and take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.